So you can sit on your toes with your toes on the mat, or you can put, the way I have, you see the tops of my foot are on the mat and I'm sitting on my heels. You can do either. Always in jiu-jitsu, there's a bit of a trade-off between stability and mobility. So if I get up on my toes, I'm going to have a little more mobility, but there's a lot less stability. Right now, I don't need much mobility because I can't really go anywhere. I'm trying to stand up. That's about it. So instead, I'm going to go for stability. So I'm sitting on my heels. I'm getting as low as I can. Okay. He wants to break my posture by squeezing his knees together and pulling with his legs. That's his most powerful tool. So I want you to go ahead and put your hands above your head and have them pull. Good. Now, very important that you don't lean back. If your head and shoulders go back this way to compensate when he goes to pull and you defend by leaning back, you're going to give them a sweep. They're going to be able to sit up into you and you're not going to be able to respond in time. So your head and shoulders need to stay in front of your hips. Okay? Now with your head and shoulders in front of your hips and no hands when he pulls, most of you are going to get pulled forward. So we want to fix that. You want to make it so that there's no way they can pull you forward even without your hands. So the first thing we're going to do is pinch our knees together. So with our knees pointed this direction, that makes it a little bit better. My shoulders are slightly in front of my hips, and then here's the big piece is I'm going to tuck my tailbone. Just like a dog tucking its tail between its legs, I tuck my tailbone. So I'm like hollowing out my stomach, and I'm tucking my tailbone like this. So my back is actually rounded, okay? Now he goes to pull. They should be able to do crunches on you. They're not going to pull you forward. I want you to feel the difference if you flare your tailbone out like the way most people consider good posture. If you flare your tailbone out and they pull, you're going to get taken forward. And when you tuck your tailbone, there's no way. So when I'm sitting inside closed guard, I'm always like that. My tailbone is always tucked, my knees are together, okay? So now put your hands above your head with your tailbone tucked. Keep your chin up slightly, look up a little bit, and see if they can pull you. Nobody here should get pulled forward. If you're getting pulled forward, I'll come help you in a minute. Okay, good. So that's your base, okay? So that means my hand now is free to keep him on his back. I don't need my hands to hold myself up, but I need this to keep him on his back. With a gi, if he grabs cloth, if he grabs my sleeve, I also have to grab cloth, because if I don't, he can just yank my arm across the body and just pull. Yeah, it's too hard to defend, right? With no gi, you can have a little more latitude, but with gi, I have to grab his jacket as well. So I'm going to take my, you can use either, but I use my index finger between his gi top, and then I gather both lapels. If you grab one, he can take his jacket and open it and break your posture. Okay, so I grab both. My palm is flat, and my head always has to stay behind my wrist bone. If my head gets in front of my wrist bone, when he pulls, I'll go forward. But as long as my tailbone's tucked, if my head is always behind my wrist bone, there's no way he's going to bring me forward. Pull. So now all I have to do is keep him on his back. If I go too high, he can arm lock me, or it's easier for him to arm lock me. If I go too low here on his belt, he can sit up. So the middle space is usually right about their sternum. And then the bigger they are, the sooner you have to respond, and maybe the higher you have to go, okay? So I'm kind of floating in here, holding onto his gi, and now as he goes to sit up, I'm just shoving him back down, and I'm kind of moving my palm on his chest. He goes to sit up, shoving him back down, and I want to be early on that, right? As soon as you feel him, you're giving him pressure. So try that for a minute. Good. Now your backhand has one job. Your backhand is designed to protect you from the climb. Okay, because if my arms are up like this, he can now climb underneath my armpits, and then now that's when you start to get in arm locks, okay? If my arm is here, I could give him this arm, take this arm lock, and see that big space, and you can just get your arm out. So this arm is to keep him from climbing up with his legs. This arm keeps him on his back. Lock your legs. My tailbone tuck keeps me up. This arm keeps him on his back. This arm keeps him from climbing his legs, okay? If I go like this, he can grab my wrist and pull, right? If I go like this, he can also grab my wrist, and push between the legs, and then he can triangle me, okay? So to prevent both, I hook it like this. So my elbow's never out here. That's not helping at all. He can just climb up. It's always inside. And my hand is here, so if he tries to push it between his legs, he can't get it. This hand holds him down. My knees are pinched together, my tailbone is tucked. And now I'll just have him try and work for posture, and I'm just holding him down. Now ultimately, there's nothing he's going to be able to do to me here, so he'll have to break this grip. And when he does, you switch hands. And this is the game you play, okay? Once I get this arm in, we'll talk about how to open up the guard with this left arm here in a second, but once I get it in, I kind of engage my shoulder. See, so I'm not like this. Once my hand sneaks in, I engage my shoulder, and that puts pressure down on his leg, so it makes it hard for him to even keep his guard closed, right? And then you have him try and attack your posture. Your tailbone should be enough to hold you up. Your hands are there to keep on his back. And if he really forces his way through this front hand and starts to sit up, you use your other hand. You put him back down there, and then you come back to where this spot is. Okay, guys, look here real quick. Come here for a sec, Justin. I didn't emphasize this enough here. I could do everything right that I just showed you and be like this. And if you're like this, he's going to grab your head with a necktie, he's going to grab your collar, and he's going to break your posture, okay? So my chin has to be up. My tailbone's tucked, my chin has to be up and back. So even if he grabs my gi now and pulls, it's much harder for him to break my posture there. Like that. Then if I make an adjustment, watch. Now I'll go here. Now, yeah, no problem. So you're always up like this, right? Up here, kind of keep your chin up and back. And I'm kind of pulling my jaw back like this. And what I'm trying to do is line up my spine. So where my neck attaches to my skull is back and lined up with my back. So now my whole body's in alignment. So he's having to wrestle with my skeleton, my structure, instead of my muscle. Okay? Go ahead and keep working that for a second. Somebody doesn't know how to do this and you have a good closed guard, you're going to be able to wreck them. If they do know how to do this, and then it's a whole totally different ballgame. So it all comes down to base and posture inside the closed guard. The worst thing I could do would be to sit on him like this and lean forward with my elbows on his body. Now he has whatever he wants, right? I don't want that. So I'm either all the way down here, because I have to be, he's hanging on to me for a second, or I'm all the way up here in my upright posture, getting ready to either stand up or open up his legs. Never in between like this. This is where he, like, if he wanted to put me where he could do the most damage to me, sweep me, go for the most submissions, he'd have me lay on him like this. And now he can attack everything. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell for frequent updates because we're updating this every week. And make sure you comment and like and share our videos. We appreciate it, and we definitely try and respond to all the comments. And if you like what we're doing and you like the material, check out SBG University, SBGU, and you're going to see a ton more in much greater depth than what you see here on YouTube. Thank you very much.